Sorry. Okay, on behalf of the Global Impact Technology Limited, I warmly welcome you all to our International Youth Day program 2026. My name is Sakina. I mentioned that earlier, and I'm delighted to serve as the moderator for today's program. International Youth Day provides an opportunity to recognize the creativity, the resilience, the leadership, and the contribution of young people to the society. It also reminds us of our collective responsibility to equip young people with the knowledge, skills, and opportunities they need to thrive. Our theme for today's program is Different Contexts, Common Aspiration, empowering youth through digital innovation, leadership, and future skills. Young people may come from different countries, communities, educational backgrounds, and economic circumstances. However, many share similar aspirations: the desire to learn, the desire to build meaningful careers, create solutions, achieve financial independence, and make a positive impact. Technology has created new pathways through which this aspiration can become reality. Today, young people can establish technology-enabled businesses, work for organizations across the world, build professional communities, and lead innovative solutions from almost everywhere. However, access to technology alone is not enough. Young people also need relevant skills, strategic directions, ethical leadership, continuous learning, and courage to take action. This is why today's program we focus on three key areas: entrepreneurship through technology, freelancing and remote work opportunities, as well as digital leadership for young professionals. We are privileged to have three distinguished speakers who will share their knowledge, experience, and practical guidance with us. We are privileged to have three apologies. So we are privileged to be able to learn in these three areas. Kindly keep your microphone muted. Make sure that when you have a question to ask, use the chat box, drop your message there. If you are not speaking, please do not unmute yourself. And while the speaker is speaking, do not interrupt them. You can raise your hands whenever you need to speak any question. I will attend to that. Each speaker would have up to 25 minutes to 30 minutes to speak, and we use like 7 to 10 minutes for question and answer. So, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to introduce our first speaker. We'll begin with our first session, which is entrepreneurship through technology. Our speaker for today is Mr. Olalekan Ilori. He is the founder and the chief executive officer of Parak Concept and Solutions, a registered Nigerian cybersecurity education company operating under the Cyber Culture Interfere brand. His flagship product, Cyber Culture Arena, is a gamified security awareness training platform whose content has been used to train more than 150 young Nigerians. He is also the creator of the commercially available Cyber Safe Homes Kit, a board game and a guide designed to teach families safe digital habits. He holds the CompTIA Security Plus ISC2 certified in cybersecurity and PIM project management professional certifications. Alongside a Bachelor of Engineering degree, he is also completing a professional MBA at the Roxbox Institution of Social Entrepreneurship. In addition to his cybersecurity and entrepreneurship work, he served as a credit analyst at Likon Financial Company Limited, bringing together valuable experience in technology, financial services, and entrepreneurship. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Olalekan Ilori as he speaks on the entrepreneurship through technology. Mr. Ilori, please, you can have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Sakinas. Thank you very much. Glad to be here today. Thank you very much for the wonderful introduction. It's a privilege to be on this platform to speak to people. Yeah, this is one thing I don't take for granted when I have the opportunity of speaking to youths, from my experience, basically, which is, I think, is what valuable more because every one of us will have a story, and this is an opportunity for us to all share our story. So, today's speech will be more of a sharing from what I've been or what I've gone through. Before I go into that, I also want to thank the Global Impact Technology for the platform, for the opportunity for doing this. It's International Youth Day, and it's good that we are recognizing that and celebrating ourselves, celebrating the youth, and helping the youth to find a path. Like we know, the population of our country is mostly youth. Africa generally has a higher number of youths, and Nigeria particularly has a very large number of youth. And the youth, whether we like it or not, we are shaping the narrative and we are shaping the culture, we are shaping what's going on. So this is a very good opportunity for us to help ourselves, to talk to ourselves, to encourage ourselves, to challenge ourselves, and to share what we have gone through so that every one of us can learn one or two things from each other. So to go straight into my presentation so that we can have enough time to interact and ask questions later. I will share my screen. Let me turn off my video first. Okay. I wanted to share a different screen. Okay. Can you see my screen? I think I'm sharing the entire screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. What was on the screen? So I'll be sure I'm sharing the correct screen.
Entrepreneurship through technology.
Okay. Thank you very much. Just wanted to be sure I'm sharing the right thing. So I've been introduced. My name is Olalekan Ilori. I'm founder and CEO of Para Concept and Solutions Limited. Also the creator of Cyber Culture Arena. I also have a vibrant YouTube channel, which is Cyber Culture Interface, which has over 3,000 subscribers. Basically, what I do is cyber security. That's my domain. That's my space. I've been in this field of tech for more than 15 years. So I've been through different phases of technology, different phases of development within this space, different phases of changes that's been happening, and I'm happy that a lot of changes happening this day, is we are benefiting from what has been going on for a long time. And today, as we celebrate the International Youth Day, I'm going to be talking about entrepreneurship through technology. I, for one, has been someone that's been given to entrepreneur right from my experience from entrepreneur. I can say it's right from primary school or so, doing different kind of businesses, doing different kind of thing. I've seen the transition from doing business manual, from being engaged as a youth in manual businesses, in things that you have to uh, spend yourself in order to achieve them. And I've seen it translate into now people sitting down in the corners of their room, not even stepping an inch out of their door and raking in millions, millions, both in naira and dollar. People build uh, global companies from the corners of the world just within a small space because of the leverage of what we call technology, the leverage technology has provided today. And today, I believe one of the best things that every youth that is alive today is having is the access to technology. The greatest gift I would say we have been able to get is our access, to technology. And this access to technology has given us ability to do things that people in the past have only imagined. So I want you to congratulate yourself if you're you. If you're someone beside you want to congratulate the person beside you, to let them know that they are very fortunate to be in this time and season, And in the past year, we have been hearing some figures that makes you want to get started like billions, like you can see my screen, they say 4.1 billion was raised by African tech startups in 2025. And of course, when you hear the word tech startups, mostly you are talking about most of the people that play in this space of tech startups are youths. They are young minds, young mind. And 8% of Africa's workforce, is empowered, is employed by the small business, the entrepreneurs, the hustlers, the side people who do side gigs, you know, they are building with what they have, you know. And like I said earlier on, you do actually in this age, you don't need a big office or a huge capital. All you need is to have a problem, the right tools, and the willingness to solve that problem. So when we're talking about entrepreneurship through technology, we are talking about leveraging technology to solve the problem that the youth face, the children face, that the world today is facing. So I believe the clarion call for every one of us as the youth is to rise up to solve the prevailing challenges, the prevailing problems that we see day in, day out. And like I mentioned earlier, there's no other better time to solve this challenge than this time where we have access to technology at a very discounted rate. It's unbelievable what you can do with one of the very interesting conversations that I've had to be a part of recently is the fear that many people have raised that AI is going to take jobs. I'm sure most of us here have had that conversation there, one way or the other, that AI is going to show you. Why? Because AI is people, companies are deploying AIs and they are saying they don't need people. But I've always been on the flip side of the argument, that I am seeing AI creating more jobs than the job is taking away. I was watching an interview by Elon Musk they were interviewing him on the economics about a few days ago. I was watching it, and he was talking about his position with regards to AI some years ago and where he is today. He said, yes, though there are some downsides of it, but the future, what AI is going to cause according to him, his prediction that by 2036, say money um, will no longer be as relevant as it is today. That money will no longer be the driving, the motivation factor of most people. And a colleague of mine, we were all, she was asking that how, and I was like, technology, which is AI, is going to remove the barrier into that we need or anybody needs to do anything they want to do. Earlier this year too, I was attending a conference in Ghana, the EdTech learning, EdTech conference. And we were in a room in a workshop there where we were discussing about Europe trying to come into Africa. They were trying to see the way they penetrate Africa. And we are comparing the abilities of people in Africa with the abilities of people outside Africa. And one of the things I mentioned in that session was the fact that what it takes to compete with an MIT graduate today is no longer what the cost of traveling to MIT to study. Aside from the status symbol that a lot of people attach to it and the fact of course, networking effect. But in terms of ability to deliver quality, what an MIT graduate or a professor in MIT that has been training for years, what they have access to, I can get access to the same technology with a fraction of what it used to be, with a very insignificant fraction of what it used to be. So technology has deleted the old barriers. Before, you have to seek admission, you have to look for money, you have to fly, pay tuition fees to go and study top technologies, to go and become a researcher and nothing. But today, you need just less than $100 to get on the best of the best AI that will give you the same thinking that you will get from that prof in MIT. And this is not something I'm just saying, this is something I've experienced. You can, with the help of either Cloud or ChatGPT or Gemini or any of these top tier AI tools, you can tap into the mind or the thought pattern of a prof in one of the best universities and deliver solutions that are locally relevant to what you're doing. So technology has deleted the whole barriers to entry. Before, we used to need a funded team of developers, You need several months to launch a product. You need an expensive market research, physical storefronts to sell. Let me give you an example. Yesterday or today before yesterday, one of my clients asked me to do a digital footprint in investigation. He was concerned that somebody was spreading rumors about him on the internet, and he needed to clear his name. He wanted to be sure. So, like I told you before, I'm into cybersecurity. So he contacted me that he wanted to know if there's anything going on the internet about him. And from the conversation we had, I can say that I don't think he has any strong evidence. But no, not just to use my words. He said, "Okay, I told him you pay for if I have to go online to conduct this, you pay." And he did, And even me that was using the AI, I was amazed the quality of work AI did for me in less than 30 minutes. Of course, I launched Cloud Code and, gave it some instructions, tell the cloud where I want, what I want. I gave a small summarized training for it. And within 27 minutes, I got about almost a 20-page report, AI fully formatted, with every details and artifact, evidence of everything about the guy that he needed about the guy that he wanted to know. How I searched through different platforms, online panels, different social media platforms. We searched him, detailed reports. That even when I handled the report, I said this report is worth months of work some years ago, or at best weeks, before I read through a different platform and go, put together everything. But we didn't just sit in. In fact, I was not sitting behind my system. I just gave the computer the instructions and I went on to doing something else. It shows you that I've cut off, months or weeks of work. I didn't need any developer. I don't need any research. Everything in one go. That's how strong, the technology has, or how far the technology has removed the barriers, So, and I'm going to present that report. Anybody that understands how to use this technology can do what I just did. The person does not even have to have my own years of experience in IT to be able to do that. But I'm going to still talk later about the importance of laying a foundation anyway, because we all know AI has its downside. You need to understand how to communicate with this technology. So today we don't need any code. You and AI, you don't need any ability to understand Java programming or to understand C++. You don't need to spend days to launch your MVP. You can research in minutes, and you can go on WhatsApp and social media to immediately begin to sell what you have done. So it shows you how, technology has really, really liberated, removed the barrier to entry. Like we can see the statistics say 60% of young Nigerian entrepreneurs already use AI tools to build or improve their business, according to UNESCO. So a lot is happening within that space, and we cannot be left out. Okay, so this is a very shared part of my experience. While keeping a 9 to 5 job, you can still able to do a lot. Building a place like Cyber Culture Arena, there's a gamified platform. While you're still working as a full-time analyst. You know, and the thing is that what you see is that you solve a problem you've personally seen. So if you are looking at, getting into this as a youth, we all see different problems every day. We encounter different problems. We see different problems happening there around us every day. You know, these small, big problems and challenges. For my own case now, no, I kept seeing a lot of businesses getting breached because staff training was boring. So many people, if you've worked in a 9 to 5 environment, when they say there is training, a lot of people just attend for the sake of attendance, just to mark attendance, not because they are playing or paying attention to what is being said. So I saw this as a challenge. Some people do not understand just how to keep their password safe, how to avoid clicking phishing links. So this is a challenge that can be solved, by making the trainings that they go through not just entertaining, but interesting for them. So I realize that people like competition. So game is a place of competition, and people, when they see learning as a form of competition, they get more involved. So this was a solution that Cyberculture Arena was built to solve. And like I said, it didn't take hiring front-end engineer. It didn't take hiring a back-end engineer. It didn't take hiring a UI UX designer. It didn't take hiring a project manager. All it took is understanding how to use an agent called AI. So revenue beats recognition. So these days, applause doesn't pay bills. So what pay bills is real traction. Clients that pay, and renew their contracts. If you on my recently on my on social media platform, I had to publish the access, the fact that there's a form of validation that is going on. Sorry for the interruption. Sorry. So like applause doesn't pay. Like I said, applause doesn't pay bills. Traction, all you need is paying clients, renew contracts. It is the validation that matters on the long term. It's the validation that matters on the long term. So what we are saying is that AI has given us opportunity to validate your ideas, to validate anything you need, within a very short time, and every lesson, come from actually building something and not just from a textbook. Okay, so I just to provide some form of guidance and context, for people who are interested, for youth, as youth, part of the things we need to do is, or the framework we can deploy as a youth to do whatever we want to do is called find, build small, and test. So as a framework, what you need to do is to look for a problem you've personally lived, not a trend you read about. So when you see, for example, someone that saw SMEs getting breached because staff training was boring, and they skipped the training, that's a problem you have found. You may be working in a business center or maybe in a shopping mall, and you notice that the way people submit invoice or the way vendors submit their invoice have certain issues. That's a problem you have seen. You could be working, in your mommy's shop or your brother's house. You could even be at home. Maybe the way your staff, your domestic staff, the way they handle money when or they handle visitors. It could be a problem. And you see that a lot of people are looking for people of qualified house helps. These are problems that are general. These are things that you can see around. And then when you find a problem, you build small. So what we are talking about is you use AI plus no code or low code tools to build the smallest version that works. So what we are saying is that with AI, you are able to build something, you know, you don't need a huge fund. You can easily bootstrap, with AI, and then you test. So what I'm saying is that don't build a big edifice. Don't try and compete with the Google or the X or the Space X or the people who have gone far. Build something small, something local, something that you can deploy within a week, within 2 weeks, then test. Put it in front of 5 to 10 real users before you build anything more. So what we are saying is that when you find a problem, just with the help of AI, build something small that people can relate with. And that something small, put it in front of 5 to 10 real users before you add anything to it. The feedback that you get from people will let you know that if you're in the right track or if you have something you can modify or do better. So 4 tools that you can see that cost almost nothing to start with. You have AI assistants, no code, low code, WhatsApp and social media, mobile money and digital payment. So when we're talking about AI assistants, a lot of us are already familiar. They are no longer strange to us. ChatGPT is there, Gemini is there, Cloud is there. We have DeepSeek. We have a lot of them out there, and when we are talking about no code or low code, things like Google Apps Script, Glide, soft, you can use this one to build a working MVP. We all know what MVP, a minimum viable product without a dev team. That's literally how people have built program. Then what we see is WhatsApp and social media. WhatsApp and social media is, I don't know anybody that is not on any social media. Of course, they are rare, definitely, but I don't know of any youth that is not on WhatsApp or social media. So as youth, we already have opportunities to offer free distribution and direct customer acquisition without any marketing, just posting. See, most of the, for example, this conference that we're attending today is a lot of people posted it on their WhatsApp status. Most of people that are joining with, maybe they saw it on some people's WhatsApp server. There's necessarily no need to pay, to advertise because you already have people within your influence. So WhatsApp and social media is there for everyone, and every youth carries most youths go around with an Android phone or a phone that has the ability to do WhatsApp and social media. And now we also have mobile money and digital payment. So collecting your money from day one is easy. Even before you get your company registered, before you have a registered company, you can easily collect your money. Do you understand? You don't have any stress in that. Then we have 5 skills that every tech entrepreneur needs. As a tech entrepreneur, there are 5 skills that you need to put in place: adaptability, continuous learning, leadership, resilience, and ethical innovation. So adaptability is that because things are changing, even technology is changing fast. Like I said, I was listening to Elon Musk a few days ago, and they are talking about how the rate at which new AI models come out every time. Almost every week, we have new AI models being launched. That is huge. It means that if you are trying to learn something and you're not learning fast, before you even finish learning what you are learning, a new technology has come out. So you need to be adaptable also. So you need to be able to pivot without falling apart. Continuous learning means you keep earning certifications, you keep learning. Now, I'm not talking about going to schools. You might not even get a certificate for what you're learning, but keep improving yourself. And this is what happens, especially when you try to solve a problem. When you solve a problem, the problem makes you into what a better person. You always live where you are. Then we're talking about leadership. Every team needs one to lead. So if you don't have leadership, there are different levels of leadership. Personal leadership, I feel, is the key. You must be able to lead yourself. You must be able to tell yourself, this is what I want to do. This is the way I'm going. And then resilience. Resilience is one of the things that this generation of youth actually battles with. A lot of youths these days don't know how to handle setbacks. They don't know how to handle failures. They don't know how to handle disappointment. Rejection, is there to sharpen you for your next version. So when you are doing something and somebody say no, just find out why the person saying no, why is the person rejecting it. That is resilience, ability to go back and come back, even when you are praised and stand up. Resilience is one key thing I think it's key as a youth, as we're celebrating International Youth Day. We should take note. Resilience, I think, is a very key word to take note of it. And we have ethical innovation. In cybersecurity, for instance, trust is the product. Build things that deserve to be trusted. So whatever field you are in, find a way to innovate ethically. Because if you are not ethical in your approach to things, you will not be sustainable at the end of the day. Because people are eventually going to, find a more ethical solution that they align with. So the real story is that, there will be setbacks and there will be wins. You know, a part of wins is training over 150 people, young Nigerians, in cybersecurity, developing cyber board games, developing solutions that people, actually attest to. These are wins, and there are setback to when you apply for to be a part of a hub or an incubator or something, and they give you a review that your venture is lacking traction or is low on execution, you know, it can hit you, but you need to also, I can see Sakina raising hand. Do you have?
Sir, please, your time.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry, my screen I'm only seeing the presentation screen, so sorry about that. So, you know, um, traps are people, young founders also always fall into. I've already talked about, you need to spend time building. You don't need to spend time trying to get, things sorted out. Just try, do it small, small, and innovate, iterate your solutions. Don't chase every opportunity, focus on something, ignore the cash flow and build the vision. So this week, the task I'm leaving for every one of us listening is find a real problem. Just name one of them. Build the smallest version of a solution using AI and show it to five people. No matter how it is, show it to five people and listen to what they will have to say. So there's, you know, talking about opportunity, words to remember, opportunity. We are in a time where a lot of people have opportunity. And then we also have opportunity to innovate and solve problems with technology. And then with the courage to execute, we are able to adapt and demonstrate our leadership abilities with resilience and making impact in every area of what we do. So you don't need permission. You need a problem, a tool, and the courage to start. That's where it's. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.
Wow,
Sakina.
wow. Yes, thank you. I'm with you, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Ilori, for that wonderful presentation, for that insight and practical presentation. Thank you. Really appreciate you. Your session has
Oh,
reminded us that technology entrepreneurship does not always begin with a complicated product. You can, or a substantial capital. You can develop a minimum viable product. So the small product you mentioned is MVP. We call it MVP, minimum viable product, something like that you can use as a prototype to check or to ascertain that your ideas can be bring to life, right? So it can begin by just identifying your genuine problem, like you mentioned, developing a useful solution, testing the idea with your minimum viable product. So we'll now proceed to question and answer session. If you have a question, please use the chat box, drop your question in there, and Mr. Ilori can quickly take like few minutes to answer your question. So we'll entertain just three questions. Please, if you have question for him, kindly drop your question in the chat box now. Thank you. And if you can unmute and speak, if that works for you, you can quickly speak. Uh, thank you. I'm in the chat box waiting for your questions. We have just few minutes. Any question, please? Okay. Yeah, I can see that Peter Olalekan is raising his hands. Please, you can unmute yourself and speak, or you can use the chat box to drop your question, please.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Thank you so
afternoon.
much. Thank you so much for that teaching, sir. Really appreciate, sir. So I want to ask that is it possible that I can get the record for today's training? Thank you.
Okay. Yes, please. You can get the record, both the record and the training material. So there's a training material. There is also records for this training that is going to be available on our YouTube channel. So you can rewatch in our YouTube. So meanwhile, we are going to drop a link that you're going to join. So when you join that link, you're going to get all the materials for this training in that link, right? At the same time, you are going to get the YouTube link for this training in that link as well. So that will be dropped very soon. Thank you. You can bring your hands down. Any other person? Any question for Mr. Ilori before he leave the call? Please ask him question. No, you cannot see an expert in the house and you are not asking question. Please learn. You need to learn from him. Any question, please? If you are shy to speak, you can use the chat box. Just drop your message in the chat box. We are ready to take in your message. I mean, to answer your question. So I don't think there's any question coming in. All right, while you are doing that, so I'll just wait for your question to come in. Yeah, I'll wait for your question to come in. So Mr. Ellery, you can still be in the call for a while just for us um to take in their question, right? So if we see that there's no any question,
okay.
then we can move forward. Thank you very much, sir. So while we are waiting for questions for Mr. Ilori Olalekan. Let us proceed by um, um, introducing our second speaker, which is a person of Mr. Olaonipekun Owolabi Peter, right? So he will be speaking on freelancing and remote work opportunities. The growth of the digital economy has created opportunity for young people to offer their skills to clients and organizations across different countries. This morning, somebody reached out to me, and the person was like, "Oh, I really appreciate your teaching and guidance in global impact technology. I got a job from Upwork, and that was my first remote job ever, right? And that I was really happy. I was excited because our training with regards to remote works has come to benefit people, right? So these trainings, we do it for free, and we normally used to provide it for our general community. And then we have those ones that we take our training that is going on, data analytics, cyber security, and project management at large. So the fact that there's a success record, it's a good thing. So youth can now work for many people across different country, right? However, succeeding as a freelancer or a remote professional requires more than simple creating an online account, right? It requires competence, professionalism, communication, reliability, and ability to deliver measurable value, right? So our second speaker, Mr. Olaonipekun Owolabi Peter, is it's going to be speaking on how we can get this remote work, right? So, Mr. Peter is an experienced information technology professional, ICT, web developer, and a digital solution strategist with more than 2 decades of experience. Wow. Helping businesses use technology to improve their operation, strengthen their digital presence, and achieve sustainable growth. Its areas of expertise include web development, IT system administration, digital transformation, graphic design, and technology consulting across different industries. Beyond his professional work, he is passionate about developing people. Reason why he's here, I guess. He is committed to mentoring, coaching, and equipping young generation with practical technology skills, leadership values, and entrepreneurship mindset. He believes that leadership is about service and impact. Correct. And he approaches every role with integrity, excellence, and a strong commitment to empowering others. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Olaonipekun Owolabi Peter as he speak on freelancing and remote work opportunities. Mr. Peter, 1 minute before you start speaking, let me check the chat box for question for Mr. Ilori, then we can proceed immediately. Since WhatsApp and mobile money are
All right.
highlighted, so Mr. Ilori, please, you have one question in the chat box. The question is, since WhatsApp and mobile money are highlighted as key tools to starting selling immediately, how can young African founders move early testers from WhatsApp conversations into paying repeatable customers without getting stuck in informal hard to scale operations? Sir, are you
Okay.
still on
Yes, I'm on the call. I've seen the
question?
questions.
All right, please
Yeah.
kindly help us take the question, then we'll proceed to the
Okay,
next.
so the question is scaling from WhatsApp conversation into paying and repeatable customers. So the first thing I want to say is like um the product or whatever you are doing that you are offering them. I want to see. I'm sorry. Moving early testers from WhatsApp. Okay, so the one thing that I found out is that
Oh,
your early testers too should pay for your testing, get them to pay. So there are different levels of early testers, So even though you are testing out, let them see the value in what you
Ìdààmúlẹ̀
do,
coordinate àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ kọ́ máa máa
you
kọ̀wé.
know. Let the value be clear that the value you are delivering to your early tester, let the value be clear. And once the value is clear, what you are getting from them is not just the payments that they will pay, is the validation of your idea. So once you have validated with repeatable customers, via WhatsApp conversation. As you're doing that, build a parallel structure. I'm sure what you mean is moving from just chatting on WhatsApp to registering your business. And let me give a very good example. To register a business name now, you don't need to leave your room to register a business name or to register a company. Technology has made it easy. Even the government is using technology to register business. So basically, what it means is if you are turning early testers into customer, basically simply, by the time you register your business name, you open a bank account with it, you forward the details of your bank account or business name account to them. Let them pay. Let them see that this business is not just a WhatsApp chatting. You are already structuring it and you are taking details of what you are doing daily. So the key thing is let the value you are offering them be clear and the benefits to them be clear. Once the value and the benefits is clear, if you tell them you are structuring, you are moving them from just testing, they need to pay for this, they will follow you to wherever you go. A friend of mine launched a product recently, which is a finance management, wealth management business. What he did for us, he said those of us that we should help him share. I shared with a few of my colleagues, people around, and people said they like that product. For me, now it was a free access conversation chats, but now is moving through, even through me, is moving to proper business with people who will now pay for it. But basically, because the value has been seen, they have tested it and see the value, and they've even getting stuck on it somehow. Wherever you are moving your business into, you're scaling up. You already have data to prove that the business is valid. You already have the registered business or structure to show that you're a legal entity. And that is where structure starts. So just do those things, make your value clear, make your business benefits clear, become a legal entity, do your business properly, and you're on your way to go. There's no big deal. Don't look at it as something, you remove all those big English words. Look at it as simply, you just have a legal entity and have the business name. You are already structured and take notes, document what you are doing. That's all.
Thank you very much for that wonderful response. Um, who asked the questions? Apologies. I hope your questions has been answered. Davis Camphor, I hope your question has been answered correctly. So if you have a further question, you can use the chat box. Just drop your questions there. Thank you very much. Now we will welcome our second speaker, Mr. Peter Owolabi. Please, you can have the floor. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Once again,
afternoon,
my name
sir.
is Peters. My name is Peters Owolabi. So I'll just give you a quick introduction myself. So I actually started off as a graphics designer. Then I transitioned into web design, then into web development, then into all of the other things I do today. So I am not going to bore you with too much of thoughts. I'll just be very straight and very direct with my presentation. And I hope by the end of this session, we all will have one or two things to take home and to work on. All right, so I'd like to share my slide with you now. Yeah, so sure. Can we all see my screen?
Yes,
Sakina,
please.
please
Yes, we
confirm.
can see it, sir.
All right.
Yes.
So before I commence fully, I'd like to thank the organizers of this event, Global Impact Tech. I would like to thank you for the privilege of having me here this afternoon. And it is always a thing of joy to impact knowledge. For me as a person, so I am saying thank you to you people for the opportunity to be here. So thank you everyone for being part of this session. So my topic is freelancing and remote work opportunities. Building a global career without borders. So, and I'll tell you that as a web developer, an IT professional, trainer, mentor, and all of that, for over 2 decades, I'll tell you that there's been a lot, and we've gone through all of these things. And the reason why you people are here this afternoon is so that you can learn from the mistakes that we have made and you don't repeat that kind of mistake. At least if you are going to make any other mistake, it should be a mistake that you are not aware of. So you learn from ours so you can bypass all of our own mistakes. So here is why I'm having this conversation with you today. Actually, as a graduate of banking and finance, and I am here as a tech person today. So you understand what that means. It simply means something else. I didn't pursue my career as a banker. So technology changed my career path completely. And for technology to be able to change my own career path from being a banking and finance graduate, I am sure that you know that it can change yours too. So like I said, I started off from graphics design and moved into web design and web development fully. So more than 2 decades working, learning, building, and teaching with technology. You see, because at some point we had to get into being an instructor, training, and all of that. And all of those things have shaped our knowledge in the tech industry. So today, web development, IT, digital skills training, and youth mentorship are things that we've done and we like to do. Somebody like me, I am very joyous and very happy about things like this when I have the opportunity to do things like this. So and the lesson that all of these career paths have taught me is that when you impact knowledge, there is no way you impact knowledge without also learning one or two things yourself. So it is always very good to share what you know with others because in the process of teaching, you also learn. You learn and you also improve on yourself. So careers are built through skills, through practice, through relationships, and through consistency. So and what I mean by this is that when you want to build a career, you need a skill and you need to be specific on the kind of skill you want to acquire. And in the process of acquiring this skill, you also have to ensure that you continuously practice what you are being taught in class or wherever you are acquiring this skill. And you need to also learn how to build relationship because relationship is what brings clients and what keeps them. Yeah, you can do all of the marketing, tell people about your skill. You can do this, you can do that, and probably because you know one or two people, they come and say, okay, let's try you out. But what keeps them is the relationship you built and the consistency that you are able to create in what you do. So now to the next slide. The world of work has changed, as we all know. This is a new era completely. Some people call it the Gen Z era, but we in the tech industry, we call it the AI era. Of course, we all know that things went the way they used to be before, and the whole model of working is work where the employer is. You stay in the office, you work, come in 9 to 5, very early in the morning. You wake up in the morning, you jump bus from Ojuelegba to Fadeyi, from Fadeyi to Yaba, and all of that. All of this Azus everyday bustle and hustle. Then at the end of the day, your productivity, even when you get to the office, reduces because of all of the stress that you've gone through to get to the office. But the new model now is that you can work. In fact, that there are different types of employment nowadays. So one of them is hybrid, where you just pop in into the office maybe once or twice a week. Every other task is done where you are. It's just that you have a work model where you're able to track what people do. So talents can actually work across borders. So you get, when I say talent can work across borders, what I mean is this. Okay, as an entrepreneur that I am today, which I actually transited from being a freelancer into being an entrepreneur. So one of the things I've come to understand is that once you have a talent and you have the structure behind that talent, you can actually work across borders, which means you can get contracts from the US, from the UK, from anywhere in the world, execute these projects and get paid. So the internet has turned skills into portable assets. The internet has turned your skills into portable assets wherever you are. you have a skill. There are people who need your skill. They are willing and ready to pay for your services, either they see you or not. Once you are credible enough and you are giving them a structure that this is the structure by which you work, this is the standard by which you work, so they are ready and willing to work with you. But now, what now keeps them is how you are able to actually deliver on your page. So your location may define where you live. It does not have to define who you are, but it does not have to define who you can work for. So let's go on to the next slide. Freelancing versus remote employment. Because there is no time and I really want to run through all my slides. So I would prefer that as I'm going through each slide, if any question pops up in your mind, please do not hesitate to drop them in the chat box. I'll attend to all of them at the end of the slide. I want to have enough time for question and answers. So I want to run through the slides because I have practically explained everything in my slide. So now we are talking about freelancing and remote employment. So freelancing basically is where you have a service, you have talent, you have certain skills, and these skills are your own service that you are selling. And there are people who needs your service. But instead of hiring you as a full-time employment or as a full-time employee, they come to you and say, okay, can you get this done for me? And you tell them what you charge or your fee for getting that done. So that is freelancing. When we now talk of remote employment, sometimes a lot of people get it mixed up. Yeah, freelancing is another type of employment because this person needs your service and is employing you and engaging you to get on this project for them and they get you paid. But there is one thing about employment and freelancing. In employment, the employer decides. The employer actually gives you the terms and conditions, gives you the working conditions. You have to resume at so time. You have to deliver on this. You have to deliver. But in freelancing, the employer does not determine your time. The employer just come with, oh, I need this service and I need it. I need a timeline for delivery. You see, these are two different things. I have a need, and this need has to be met in so time. But the difference in employment is, oh, I want to employ you as a staff, and you have to resume at certain time and close at certain time. So now it is the job that is given to you within that period of time that gets paid for at the end of the month or week or whatever arrangements that you have with the employer. So it's a different thing. Now, in freelancing, the advantage is this: you have your own terms as well. Oh, you are engaging me, you are putting me on this job. Okay, cool. So if the agreed amount for the project is, let's say, 500,000 naira, you'll be like, oh, I am going to collect 75% of the entire project cost, and then you can pay me the balance at the end. But in employment, you can't do that. You wait till the end of the month, and at the end of the month, the employer can decide, oh, you came late so day, you didn't come in early this day, you signed in sick the other day, you called in sick the other day, and for these reasons, you are going to be deducting your salary. So I hope from this explanation, you have been able to see the liberty in being a freelancer and being an employer. But now on to a remote employment. Remote employment, most times, like the hybrid thing, sometimes doesn't really work out because when people are not there and you just say, oh, you are on employment and you work for this, you work for that, you are not able to really track what they do, except there is a well-structured pattern where you check and balance what people have been tasked to do and what they actually delivered on that particular day of work. So self-employed, that's freelancing, multiple clients or projects, which means you can actually get multiple projects in a day when you are freelancing. Then on the remote employment thing, you see employee of an organization. So you work under the terms and conditions of the organization. Then usually one primary employer, one person determines your day, everything you do in a day between the working hours of the day. So freelancing paid by project, by milestone, per hour, depending on the kind of employer. Even it's in Nigeria, you usually get paid by project. Maybe in the US, maybe by milestone, maybe in the UK, maybe it's per hour. You see that kind of thing. But with remote employment, it's salary or employment-based compensation. Either you work more than what you should do or not. The agreed amount is still what you get paid at the end of the month. But being a freelancer, you can actually take up 20 projects. It's none of the employer's concern, as far as you're able to deliver. So your income is not fixed, but your income is fixed in remote employment. So you market, sell, and manage your services. That is one of the benefits of freelancing. And with remote employment, company provides role, systems, and responsibilities, which means this is going to limit you of exploring other skills. Because as a freelancer, you need to actually be a marketer, learn how to actually tell people about the services you do, promote your business, promote your skills, promote your services yourself. But with the company, with the remote employment, you are limited to a role. They just give you, oh, a system analyst in our company. So all you think of every day is the role of a system analyst. But if a system analysis is a skill that you have and you want to freelance with it, you wake up every morning thinking of the platforms where you can actually put out your skills so that people can actually engage you. So from there, you've learned how to actually market your skill. That is a marketing skill. You've learned how to actually pitch your ideas to people. I hope I've been able to actually differentiate between these two employment methods. On to the next slide, we are talking of the real opportunity in freelancing. Now, in freelancing, there are lots of opportunities, and one of the big opportunities is you eventually becoming a big entrepreneur. Because the real opportunity in freelancing is actually bigger than freelancing itself. So let's take a look at digital work now. Freelance projects, remote employment, contract, consulting, digital entrepreneurship, global market. One strong skill can open multiple income paths. The goal is not merely to get gigs. The goal is to become valuable enough to be trusted repeatedly. So let me briefly say this. At some point in my career, I figured out that a lot of employers relied on me because of credibility's sake. And I'm not going to say this, I can give you certain companies to check this out from. So at some point, whenever they need a staff, they reach out to me. Oh, Mr. Peter, we need a staff. And at some point, I even had to go in to actually interview these staff for these companies because they figured out that I have been credible enough in all of the areas they tested me. Sometimes they even need email marketing, which is not my core area. I need to get them somebody. So at some point, I started thinking of, okay, if companies are coming to me for email marketing, if they're coming to me with social media management, if they're coming to me for videography and all of this, so how do I leverage on all of these things? Then I started thinking out loud and started thinking of, okay, maybe I can just get somebody to work hybrid. This person just takes up the role of email marketing. This person takes up the role of this. The person takes up the, and from there you start seeing that you have started building a team. And when you start building a team, what that simply means is that these people are working for you and you've ended up becoming a business owner. And being a business owner now makes you an automatic entrepreneur. And being an entrepreneur now makes you a marketer, makes you a creative thinker, makes you a business and development person, turns you into a different thing. Then you see that you are taking up a lot of role, a project lead, you become a project and analysis or something analyst and all of that. Then at the end of the day, you just realize that, oh, you have actually acquired a lot of skill, you have become a lot of things, you have an idea of so many things, and then you are able to create a thing. From there, you're able to build a company. From there, you start your own employment base. So the real opportunity is bigger than freelancing. That's what I'm saying here. Then on to the next slide. I'm saying skills that can travel across borders. Skill that can travel across borders. A lot of us are, I don't know, some people might be in this session because they actually want to learn about this kind of skill they can acquire that can actually put them on a survivor mode. Or but here digital skill is not a survival mode. It doesn't put you in a survival mode. It is actually a career path that can make you break even. Digital skill is not a survival mode. You can build a career path that can sustain you for lifetime. That is what I'm saying. Because if somebody like me can forfeit being a banker to becoming a tech person today, then I can confidently tell you that whatever career path you want to take in the digital world is a career path that would last you a lifetime. And with the arrival of AI and the progress people are making with AI today, I'm telling you, you have the sky is your starting point. So if we look at the digital skills that are in high demand right now, you see that divided them into four skills. And the number one there is tech, which is web development and software development. You see data analytics and AI. Then you see cloud and cyber security as well. So under the creative, you see the UI, UX, and graphic design. So I merge graphic design and UI, UX because they are kind of related because UI is user interface, UX is user experience, UI has to do with design. All of these are all design, graphic design. So it depends on your sense of beauty because all of these are talking about the aesthetic. So how you understand color mixture, blending, and all of these things together, and how you are able to use them, introduce them, integrate them into a project. So you see video and motion graphics and motion graphics, you see content creation. Then for the business aspect, you see digital marketing and search engine optimization. Because it's one thing to have a business, it's another thing to actually be able to optimize it on Google and all of these advertising platform, so that when people are searching for certain thing about a business, your business name comes up as top 10 or top 20 of the search results, so that you are out there, you have a digital presence out there. Then project management is also a business skill. Virtual assistance is also another skill. Then communication, copywriting, technical writing, customer success support. So I can guarantee you that if you want to acquire a skill among all of these four categories, you definitely should pay attention to it and decide on which one, and then you would never regret acquiring a skill in any of these four categories. Then okay, so this is the next slide. AI is changing the skill equation because we cannot talk about tech today and not talk about AI. AI has changed the narrative completely. AI has changed the narrative completely. So don't compete with AI. Do not compete with AI. Learn to work with AI. Learn to work with AI. A lot of people will say, AI can do this, but I don't know how to use it. I don't even understand this, and that. Bros, I'm not saying you have to learn the fundamentals. I tell people this. You have to learn the fundamentals because learning the fundamentals and understanding it is what even helps you the more to integrate or use AI in whatever field you have chosen. So use AI to research, brainstorm, prototype, automate, and improve your workflow. But don't compete with AI. Don't say, oh, me, I want to. Sometimes you can actually ask AI to write a code for you, but your understanding of the code is what will now enable you to be able to tweak the code. Because time it will take you to write the code, AI would have written millions of code in that time. So why not use AI generate your code, but with the fundamental knowledge you have of writing of code, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Next.js, blah, 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 all of these things. The time it will take you to write the code, AI has generated it, but it is your knowledge of this code that you will now use to now say, oh, I want to change this color. I don't like this. I don't like this. Then you are able to tweak or edit the code. Then build fundamentals first. I say this. Some people will say, oh, no coding web development. I want to go for no coding now. I'm not saying don't go for no coding. It's AI, of course. You can take AI as a career as well. But I'm not saying don't go for no coding. But learn the fundamentals. Don't jump. You have to take the baby steps so that you are well footed, you are well grounded. Without the baby steps, babies don't just jump and start walking. They have to take the baby step. They walk, fall, walk, fall. When they master walking, then they jump, they start running. When they run, fall, run, fall, run, fall. When they master running, then they start jumping. They jump, fall, jump, fall, jump, fall before they get their footings. So learn the fundamentals, communication, problem solving, judgment, and domain knowledge. Learn to verify AI outputs. So how do you verify AI outputs if you don't have the fundamentals? How do you, please, are we still together? Sekina, please confirm. I've been talking.
Yes, we are. I've been raising my hand. We have just 5 minutes, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. 5 minutes more to go. Okay, so let's verify AI outputs. Speed without accuracy creates expensive mistakes. So I'm going to say this before my time runs out. Speeds without accuracy creates expensive mistakes because a lot of people want to actually acquire a skill because what is at the back of their mind is money making, money making, money making. But I would tell you that if you are going to acquire a skill, if your primary motive or your primary reason for going into that skill is not to create a career path, but other than to make money, you will miss the steps. And one thing I tell people is delay gratification. Wait, learn, let people trust you, build credibility, build personality. Then the money comes in. If you don't build credibility, nobody is willing to give their money to somebody they don't trust in the world of business. In the world of business, if you don't have that credibility, you don't have that trust. I have clients that have been with me for 10 years, for 15 years today, because one of the things I do is ensure that my client trusts me and not to break that trust. So you have to learn how to take the baby steps, do the things you need to do, learn the things you need to do, know your onions, and then deliver. Stop making expensive mistakes. And how not to make expensive mistakes is to ensure that you learn the baby steps. Because from jumping, you can hit your head and then end up in coma. You understand? So the valuable professional combines a real skill plus AI fluency plus human judgment. So do not completely focus on AI. Learn the fundamentals, integrate AI so that you can also, because sometimes AI even make mistakes. I hope you know. ChatGPT, when it started off, it will give you some responses that are completely wrong. So please, let us learn the fundamentals. So I'm on slide 8. Okay, learn before you earn, but don't learn forever. I think I've just spoken about that. Choose one marketable skill, learn, focus on the fundamentals, build real projects. Even if you don't have anybody to build a project for, build an imaginary project. Let people actually review these projects for you. Let them comment and do not take feedback as hostile. Don't be hostile towards feedback. When people say, oh, this is not nice, this is not nice. Yeah, of course, some people might not have the best way of actually giving a feedback, but do not let their feedback actually hurt you or hurt your feelings. What you should do is take their feedback, go back to your drawing board and make necessary adjustments. So apply network. That is how you sell. Portfolio, build your portfolio, create a portfolio. Somebody might come and say, okay, share me your portfolio, and you don't have a portfolio in place. Then you start, and there might be no time to wait for your portfolio. Then build a portfolio that proves capability. I've discussed on that. You can have access to this slide after the presentation. Your online profile is your digital office. Your online, that's building a portfolio as well. Build a portfolio, professional name, photo and headline, clear description of the problem you solve, portfolio with 3 to 5 strong examples, LinkedIn and relevant professional platforms, professional email and consistent identity, testimonials, results, and proof of reliability. You know, I've told you credibility. Your clients should be able to rely on you. If a client finds me tonight, you didn't understand my value in 30 seconds. When you are building your portfolio, this is what should come to mind. If your clients, because your portfolio should say everything about you. Now, finding clients is a sales skill. You need to learn that, how to manage that. Hello, sir, I need a job. Better way of saying this is, I noticed your website is slow on mobile. I can audit it and propose 3 specific improvements. Oh, and you've actually ignited the client's attention, or the prospective client, as the case may be. And the client will be like, oh, how can you actually improve my website? Then you have actually triggered a conversation. Then from there, you take it on and start proposing what you can offer the client. Then the next thing, clients buy confidence, not just skill. It's one thing to have the skill. It's another thing to be able to market the skill confidently. Don't come to me and say, oh, I can build a website and I can develop mobile apps. Oh, sir, I can actually build you a website. You are into accounting. Yes. Now, I can offer you certain solutions for your accounting firm. What can you offer? Then you ignited a conversation. So don't come to me and start blabbing. This is what I can do. This is what you have to be confident about what you can do. Yeah, my time is up.
I know you have a lot to
Okay,
share with us,
it's
sincerely.
almost
Yes, but
yes,
the next speaker
it's a
is
whole lot.
waiting, and
The next speaker is
it's
waiting.
all on
All right,
schedule.
all
So
right,
thank you very
all
much.
right.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Peter. I will just give you 2 minutes to round up. Please round off your presentation.
Okay, 2 minutes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So remote work requires self-management. You need to have a structure, you need to have a plan. Don't be disordered, don't be the garbage in, garbage out kind of person. You have to be organized. So common beginner traps. Underpricing. When you get into freelancing, don't underprice your service. People who are not willing to pay at the time that will give you the most headache. That is from experience. So it is better not to take up a job than to take up a job and blame yourself at the end of the day, because you understand these people will eventually expand the scope of the job because they know that you don't know your worth and you have no other option because you need the money. That's why you take up the job. So and then when a client comes to you, please don't ghost them. It's a poor client communication skill. Some people are fond of this because they don't have a response for a client and they've not completed their job. The client is chatting them up or calling them, they don't pick up. It's a bad reputation. You are building a bad reputation for yourself. Do not scam. Do not pay money to unlock jobs. Quitting after a few rejections, copying portfolios or credentials, and learning 10 skills at once. Competing only on price. Please don't learn 10 skills at once. Learn one. Yeah, then after one, you can learn the other. A 90-day roadmap. All of this you can see in the slide when it is shared with you. Audience challenge. Start before you feel ready. Write down 3 things. One skill I will build, one project I will create, one person or community I will connect with. Then put a date beside each one of them. Ideas do not change careers. Executed ideas are what change career paths. Do we all agree with that? Then your future has no borders. Build the skill, build the proof, build the relationships, keep showing up. Thank you for having me. Eh? Over to you,
Wow.
Miss Sekinat.
Wow. That was a wonderful presentation. Trust me.
Thank
I
you.
really love and
Thank
enjoy your
you.
presentation. I feel like you should continue talking. In fact, you have overshoot your time. You have really overshoot your time because I'm really enjoying what you're saying. But time
Thank
cannot
you.
permit
Thank
us
you.
to continue, right? So thank you so much, Mr.
Mhm.
Peter Owolabi, for that informative and practical presentation. You have helped us to
Thank you.
understand that freelancing and remote work provide significant opportunity, but success require a deliberate skills development, a credible
Yeah,
portfolio, a professional
that's very correct.
communication, a consistent delivery,
Mhm.
and continuous learning. Do not scam
Yeah,
people. Not that when they are calling you, you refuse to pick call. They will not be afraid that ṣáà ti
exactly.
gbé. We hope we have not given work to a scammer. Please make
Hmm.
sure you are representing us and you are representing us well when you go to a international platform to seek for a freelancing job or remote job, right? So one important
Exactly.
lesson from this session is that global opportunities are available. That's perfect.
Mhm.
It's really available. But young professionals must separate themselves by developing marketable skills, he mentioned,
Yeah.
building evidence
Yes.
of competency over time by developing a portfolio, and also maintaining a strong professional standard, right? So that people you are giving work
Mhm.
to will have that rest of mind that they are working with you. Thank you so,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
much, Mr. Peter. We really appreciate your
You're
presentation.
welcome. You're
That was
welcome.
wonderful. So please,
Thank
if
you.
you have question for Mr. Peter, use the chat box, drop your question immediately. So as we are trying to introduce the second speaker, we are going to use the opportunity, just like the way we did the other time, to listen to Mr. Spear. I mean, to read your question. Okay, so we have a question that comes in already. As a beginner freelancer virtual assistant with no prior client experience, what are the most effective way to position myself for remote job opportunity and build visibility on freelancing platforms and social media? So, Mr. Peter, please, you have 2 minutes to answer this question.
All right. Okay, I'm trying to open up the question.
It's like your section is really, really
Okay.
engaging.
As a
People are really
beginner
dropping question.
freelance virtual assistant with no prior client experience, what are the most effective ways to position myself for remote job opportunities and build visibility on freelance platforms and social media? Okay, good. One of the things my advice is sometimes these opportunities actually, these opportunities are everywhere. It's just that because of certain reasons, they are not coming to your doorstep. So, like I said in my presentation, it is something you can do. Build an imaginary client, or as a beginner, you can just offer your service to maybe an NGO. So, one thing about NGO organizations is that when you are volunteering, they try and look, yes, they don't have the money to pay or they are not paying you, but they will look for how to actually pay back. And when they know that the reason why you are volunteering is because you are trying to market yourself, you are trying to do this, the moment an opportunity surfaces, they link you up as a payback method. It's one of the ways I usually because in my own career as a web developer, the first time I learned WordPress, I learned on W3 schools years ago, many years ago. I learned, and then the first project I got on was an 80K job then. I took the whole 80K to somebody, a friend who is already a web designer. I told him, take this money. Any amount you like, give me. If you like, don't give me. But I want to be part of this project from beginning to end. I want to see how you are starting it and how you are ending it. You see, and these guys split the money into two, gave me half, I took half, and we got started. And today I can tell you that this guy is, and he now passes all his web jobs to me. If a client goes to him because he has actually pivoted into something else. So these are ways in which you can actually position yourself, put yourself online, put your services under places where you can actually advertise yourself. Go to Upwork, Fiverr, and Trello, there are other platforms like that. And then there is a web application that I'm actually building for a client now. Maybe by the time we've deployed, we can share with the community. It's Warishare app. So you can also put all your skills on these platforms. People who need your skills will definitely reach out when they see your amazing portfolio.
Thank you. We have another question,
I hope
sir.
I've been able to answer that question. Yeah,
Tijani
so the
Abiodun, I
next one
hope your
says,
question
given
has
that
been
speed
answered.
without accuracy, Can I continue?
Yes, please. Yes, sir.
Okay. So given that speed without accuracy creates costly errors when using AI, how can young African professionals systematically verify AI outputs to build credibility with international clients and risk-averse local MSMEs who are skeptical of automated work? Exactly. You see, you notice that I repeatedly reiterated that you need to learn the fundamentals. You see, this talk about AI can build you website, AI can build you this without you understanding. It is a lie that everybody are bought into.
Very
Because
correct.
these people will not tell you the people they consulted to actually correct certain AI skill, AI code for you. They will not tell you the people who are working with them on the project. They will not tell you because they want to sell this to you. If you don't have the fundamental knowledge of whatever you are learning, when AI gives you an output as a result, you just buy it because you don't know it. And of course, AI can actually give you a correct thing, but because you don't even understand it, you don't have the fundamentals, you might not be able to interpret the correct response AI has given to you.
Mm.
So that is why I kept on hammering on learn the fundamentals and then integrate AI. When you learn the fundamentals, it will be easy for you to actually work with AI, integrate AI. AI will help you to actually move faster. But if without the fundamentals, I'm sorry, you are going to get stuck at some point.
That's very correct, Mr. Peter. So
Are we
sorry,
good?
I just want to chip in 1 minute talk. In our training, we normally used to take our students AI as
Okay.
well. But we used to make sure that AI is the last thing we teach them. And then why we teach them AI last is the fact that if you don't know the fundamentals, because AI hallucinates, if you don't know the fundamentals and when you feed in AI with your prompts and it eventually hallucinates, it will be difficult for you to differentiate whether that answer is correct or not. But because you have the
Exactly.
fundamentals, it will be easy for you to know that, oh, AI is hallucinating at this point in time, or you can even challenge the AI yourself. Do you know you can challenge AI? You can tell AI that the answer you are giving me is wrong, and it will apologize like almost immediately. And after every note, there is a message that is to pop up from AI, ChatGPT most especially, to say that make sure you verify the outputs because AI can make mistakes. So please take note of that. Thank you very much, Mr. Peter. We have one more
All
question.
right. One
And
more
but
question. Okay.
sorry, maybe the last
Uh,
question we can take it much last after the training, because the
all
next
right.
speaker, yeah, will take over right now. So thank you very
All right.
much.
All right.
So we
Oh, you're
have one more
welcome. Thank
question,
you.
and the person that asked question is one of our community members, so it will be easy for us to have the question
Oh,
in house. So
oh,
thank
all
you
right.
very
All right.
very
That's
much.
fine.
Thank you very very
That's
much.
fine. Yeah,
All right,
you're
so
welcome.
we will now move
Thank you for having
to
me as
our
well.
next. So we are welcome, sir.
Yeah.
We'll move to our next speaker right now, right? So the next presentation is on digital leadership for young professionals. Leadership is no longer limited to holding a senior position or having a formal title. In today's digital world, young professionals can demonstrate leadership by solving problems, by sharing valuable knowledge, by supporting their teams, by influencing positive change, and using technology responsibly. Using technology responsibly, please. Our third speaker is David Onyegbule. Mr. David is the co-founder and the chief revenue officer of VGP Media Technologies. Through the effective use of AI driving strategy, he earned 2 promotions within 3 years. Wow, that's amazing. He is the creator of the Source Framework, and he currently trains young professionals in digital leadership through Great Mind Leadership Academy. His experience demonstrates how young professionals can combine technology, strategic thinking, continuous learning, and leadership to accelerate their careers and create meaningful impact. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. David Onyegbule as he speaks on digital leadership for young professionals. Mr. David, over to you. Please, you can have the floor.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How is
Afternoon.
everybody? How are you doing? Thank you very much. Can we all hear me clearly? Hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, please, very clear.
Okay, let me turn on my video. Is my video okay? Can you see?
Yes, please, we can see you.
All right, thank you very much. It's really an honor and a privilege to be here. Thank you very much, Global Impact Tech. I really appreciate the opportunity to share what I know, right, with other young people. I'm very, very passionate about sharing knowledge and raising and building people, just as Ms. Sakin had mentioned about Great Minds Leadership Academy. All right, it's a hub, it's a community where I build young people, all right, help them, raise leaders with transform minds. Okay, so very quickly, I'll be moving into my session because of my time. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen now. Okay. Can we all see my screen?
Yes, please. Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. Okay. So so we're talking about digital leadership. All right, and then basically, the term is about how to lead, all right, in a digital world. All right, since we've heard that the world is going completely digital. All right, so how can we lead in a digital world? All right. So basically, this is more of my background. All right, I was gifted early. All right, that made people around me feel comfortable because it made them respectful. Okay, so uh, basically, from my background, from a very young age, I was introduced into leadership very early. All right, and most times I found myself in leadership positions, okay, leading people even when I wanted it or not. Okay, but most of the times I didn't want it. I was just elected. All right, in my primary school, I was class captain throughout my primary school. All right, in my secondary school, I was class captain throughout. In my senior secondary, I was senior prefect throughout. Okay, so I just found myself in leadership positions most of the time, and it opened me up to my purpose and my passion about leadership. Okay, so that's basically my background. So how did I get into digital leadership? All right, how did I get into digital leadership? It started a certain day when I saw a WhatsApp status, all right, from my mentor, Elijah Moses, okay, and he posted a feat that he had just achieved, all right. He posted about 20 skills, 20 digital skills that he had just learned and mastered, all right. And I was really, really inspired. I was motivated. I was like, wow, Mama, my mentor is doing this. I need to do something. I need to do something. So I got really motivated and I embarked on my own skill learning journey. All right. This was around 2018, 2019. All right. And then I gave myself a target to learn 25 digital skills. All right. He learned 20. I gave myself a target to surpass him and learn 25. All right. So during those periods, I learned a lot. I buried myself in learning. All right, learning one skill or the other, going online, getting courses, and doing a whole lot. So it was really, really a very wonderful moment for me because personally, I love learning. I have a growth mindset, so I love learning. Like if you are not a learner, a perpetual learner, you must be around my friendship circle. All right, so I was so much engrossed in it, and I actually learned the 25 digital skills even before I entered the university. All right, so entering into the university, I started test running the skills that I had learned. All right, mostly using volunteering. All right, I was volunteering to do a lot of things for a lot of people, business people. individuals, all right? Can I design your flyer for free? Can I design this for free? Can I do this for free? All right, I was volunteering, using it to get, testimonials, using it to get feedback on how I was doing, my expertise, the level I was. And it was really, really a beautiful experience, all right? It was really, really a beautiful experience. So that's basically how I started digitally, all right? That's before even AI started being more, popular and all that. Okay. So first lesson I would like to share, all right, is that leadership is not a job description, all right? Leadership is not a job description, okay? It's first influence. It's what happens when you take responsibility for change. It's what happens when you take responsibility for change, all right? It's what happens when you take responsibility for change before anyone gives you the permission to, okay? So I would say, if you ask me what is leadership in one sentence, leadership is service by influence. Leadership is service by influence, all right? How can you serve? A leader is a servant. Have that at the back of your mind, all right? A leader is a servant. You are called to serve, all right? And then when you are called to serve, you have that mindset of impact. All right. When you have the mindset that you are called to serve, you automatically have the mindset of impact. Okay. So a leader is called to serve. A leader is called to serve. Okay. So that's basically it. So now, what is the rules of engagement? The rules of engagement change every year. All right. So first of all, what is digital leadership? Before I go into that, digital leadership is the ability to guide people and try and drive outcomes in environments where technology changes the rules annually. All right. Digital leadership is the ability to guide people and drive outcomes in environments where technology changes the rules annually. All right. So that's basically what leadership is. Digital leadership, actually. So leadership is service by influence. All right. You are serving people by influencing them to do what you need them to do. All right. While digital leadership now is doing that same duty of leadership, all right, but then using the system of driving outcomes in the workplace, driving outcomes in environments where technology thrives. All right, that's basically what digital leadership is about. So in digital leadership, all right, your competition is not the person next to you. It is someone in another country with the exact same tools. All right. If you are given a tool and another person is given that same tool, all right, what can you do with it? What can you do with it better than that person? All right. What can you do with it better than that person? So that's what digital leadership is all about. So now the leadership currency shift. I call it the leadership currency shift because there's a traditional model and there's a digital reality. All right. So first of all, the traditional is formal title. All right. Such that when leadership is involved, it is only thought about when it comes to position. All right. Before, when you talk about leadership, you're only talking about position, someone in hierarchy or something. All right. But then the digital reality currently, when it comes to leadership, is visibility and value. All right. Those who will lead digitally are people who are visible and valuable. Those who will lead digitally are people who are visible and valuable. All right. Secondly, seniority and tenure. Seniority and tenure. There's nothing like, there's no age barrier when it comes to digital leadership. Traditionally, there was, all right. It's normally expected that, okay, someone who is older than you, all right, knows better than you. But when it comes to digital leadership, especially in the current digital reality or the current digital world that we find ourselves, it's no longer like that. The gameplay has changed. All right, the gameplay has changed. That is why they call this generation, the Gen Z generation, the AI generation, not just because of demographic, but because they are the ones that are the newest involved and introduced to these new technologies. All right. During 5, 10, 15 years ago, these technologies were not in vogue. They were not popular. All right. We didn't know much about them. Okay. But now that we know much about them, the generations that are born in this time, all right, have more affiliation with these technologies. They get engrossed and communicate with this technology faster than the older generation. So the digital reality is actually speed, adaptability, the ability to learn, and then adaptability, speed and adaptability. Thirdly, it is usually believed that when it comes to leadership, it is local and in, all right, only Nigeria, only in the office, only in a physical space and everything. But the digital reality currently is global and networked. The same way I'm currently in a location and then I can connect with everyone in this meeting from whatever location that they are in. All right. That is the digital reality currently. There's no location barrier. There's no space barrier. All right. There's no country barrier. You can connect and make impact from your space, from wherever you are, from your location. And then before you have to wait for permission to do something. All right. If I don't tell you to do this, don't do it. Stay on your lane. Those kind of words. They don't thrive in this digital reality, in this digital world currently. What thrives is taking responsibility. All right. And which I spoke about when it comes to leadership. All right. Leadership is service by influence, taking responsibility. All right. So that's the digital reality currently. So speed has replaced seniority very fast. Speed has actually replaced seniority completely as the main leadership currency. And you don't even need permission, you just need clarity and consistency. You just actually need clarity and consistency. So, what are the 4 pillars of digital leadership? The 4 pillars of digital leadership is one, technology, technology fluency, technology fluency. Second, innovation instinct. Third, emotional intelligence. Fourth, ethical decision making. Ethical decision making. So I'll take them one by one. Technology fluency, the 4 pillars of digital leadership. If you will lead in this digital world, you must have some fluency, some level of fluency in technology. All right, it's a must. It's a must. You must have some fluency in digital technology, in digital tools, in how to use technology. All right, how to use not just AI. All right, I know AI is something that we've been mentioning a lot, but no, technology is not just AI, all right? As long as you can be digital, all right? For example, social media is also technology. The ability to use social media is also technology. The ability to use a laptop, a system, all right? The ability to use Microsoft Word, Google Docs, Excel, all right? These are softwares, and if you are fluent and grounded in them, you are actually, all right, a digital leader. All right, you just have to grow in knowledge and grow and advance across the ladder. All right, so technology fluency is a must. Then innovation instinct. I tell people the simplest way to define innovation, all right, is creativity, the ability to be creative, the ability to think of creative ideas. And I tell people, I know some people have difficulty creating something new, totally, completely new. All right. First off, the first thing I will tell you is that you actually have the ability to create something new. Secondly, not everybody will create something new. You can take something that is already existing and then make it, how do I put it? Take what is already existing and give it a new feature, give it a new value. All right. Before, we only had access to fresh tomatoes, fresh pepper, and a whole lot of these things. But innovation is what transformed fresh tomato and blended it and put it in a sachet that we can use now. All right. So, and that can be easily preserved. Fresh tomato cannot be easily preserved compared to sachet tomatoes. All right. So that is innovation. Sometimes you can think of something totally creative, something that has never been thought of before. But currently, the digital reality is that there is almost nothing that you want to think of that has not been created. Yes, that's the bitter truth. There's almost nothing you want to think of to create that has not been created or that is not existing. All right, because ideas don't just come to you, they come to more than you. You are not the only person that receives an idea when you receive it. Okay, so it just depends on who acts on it first. Okay, so innovation, take something that already exists and then make it add your own touch, add your own uniqueness to it. Emotional intelligence is a skill that you need to learn as a digital leader, because one of the risks of the digital world is that we become so digitally inclined and lose our human selves and lose our human personalities, which is one of the beautiful things that Mr. Peters mentioned about human judgment and a whole lot of other things. Yeah, because humans are still and will still be relevant no matter how AI evolves. Yes, human uh, will still be relevant no matter how AI evolves. Okay, so skills like emotional intelligence will never go out, will never go extinct, will never go extinct. The ability to be emotionally intelligent, to understand people's emotions. AI cannot do that. So this is one of your unique proposition, unique selling point as a digital leader. All right. That is why, and there was something that Mr. Peters mentioned about when you're talking to a client, you don't just tell them, hey, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. Business people want to know that you care about them first before their business. Yes, business people want to know that you care about them first before their business. That's the part of creating relationships and networking. All right. So emotional intelligence is very key. Then ethical decision making. Ethical decision making. The purpose of the digitalized world is to help and aid ethical decision making. All right. So AI did not come to take our decision-making ability. AI just came to enhance it. It just came to enhance it, make it faster, make it more effective and efficient. All right. And make it less time consuming. Okay? The time it will take you to take a decision, maybe to take you 2 hours, AI will help you compress it to like 5 minutes. You are still taking the same decision, but in lesser time. Okay, so these are majorly the 4 pillars of digital leadership. Now, look at this. Okay, so technology fluency. The fact is that you do not need to code. You do not need to code. All right, just as Mr. Peters mentioned, there are no code tools now that you can just put in your idea and then you get your result, get your MVP and all that. You do not need to code. So the focus is that you know what tools exist and exactly how to deploy them to solve real problems. That's the major thing. That's the major thing. Can you solve real problems? It's not just about learning AI. Can you solve real problems, like real problems? If if my business is going through this, if my business is going through that, can you solve my problem? I don't care if, okay, I'll say this in 2 ways. In as much as there are businesses that are skeptical about you using AI to do their work, they are more concerned about the result that they get. For example, if my goal is to make $10 billion by the end of 2026 as a business person for my company, all right, and then I'm reaching out to you as a consultant, and then you are giving me solutions, and part of the solutions that you will use or part of the processes that you will use as a consultant involves the use of AI, all right, involve the use of artificial intelligence. If by the end or by the time you are done with that process, I will get my $10 billion, I will not care much about how the process runs. I care more about the results. Okay, so know what tools exist and exactly how to deploy them to solve real problems. Because if you can solve real problems, then you will enjoy the use of AI. You will enjoy the use of, you will know how to, you will explore the world of digital leadership. Because the idea of digital leadership is to be able to drive outcomes, like I said before, drive outcomes, all right, in environments where technology thrives, okay? So innovation is not invention. Can you see that? I mentioned something similar to that. So sometimes innovation is not invention, that is inventing something totally new. No, you can take what already exists and then add your own uniqueness to it. So it is noticing a gap in the current process and closing it faster than anyone else. That's innovation. Closing it faster than anyone else. In the last speaking engagement that I had, I was sharing this idea with somebody. I was like, this corn that we talk about, this corn that we eat, all right, is most likely is a crop that grows mostly in the rainy season. All right. Has anybody thought of a way to preserve corn even in dry season? I believe I'm giving somebody a business idea currently. Okay. So that is innovation. All right. So imagine I made 4 million naira every rainy season. Let's say rainy season is 6 months, January to June, and then the remaining July to December is dry season. And throughout the 6 months of rainy season, I have a farm, and I sell corn. And by the end of the rainy season, I make 4 million naira. So throughout dry season, sales are either less or no sales at all because of the season is dry. Okay. But if there is somebody currently that thinks of a way to preserve corn even in dry season, such that corn lovers, people that love eating corn, can have access to it even in dry season, throughout the dry season period, that's double revenue. If I was making 4 million before, I'll be making 8 million naira now. All right. So that is innovation. I'm not changing anything. I'm not creating a new corn. I'm not creating a new business. I'm just closing a gap. All right. That's what innovation is. And then, like I said, emotional intelligence. The leader who can accurately read the room will consistently outperform the leader who only knows the tools. I said this thing before, that the leader who can accurately read the room will consistently outperform the leader who only knows the tools. So like I said, it's not just about using AI tools. It's about learning the people skills and the leadership skills that come with using these tools. All right? Because let me shock you. There are many people that have skills but are still not digital leaders. One, there are many people that have digital skills but are still not making money. So what then is the difference? How will you be different? You in this conference, you in this room, how will you be different? All right. So there are unique propositions that make you different and outstanding from other people that are digital leaders, that are using digital AI tools. All right. So as a digital leader, you are, remember, look at the combo of the word digital leader. So you are not sidelining any of the two. All right. You are both a digital person and then you are also a leader. So you have both the capacities of a leader and both the capacity to use digital tools. All right. So that's basically emotional intelligence. Then ethical decision making. Every shortcut you take with people's trust, you pay back with interest. This is a statement that you need to think through. You need to digest. Every shortcut you take with people's trust, you pay back with interest. Mr. Peters mentioned, spoke about this thing, emphasized on it greatly, about trust. He's mentioned about his clients that he has been working with for 10, 15 years. That's trust. So if you take shortcuts, and give out, make decisions that are ineffective and detrimental, you will pay back with interest. All right, very important. So I'll say this again. It is not just about using AI tools. It is about being a leader, having the identity of a leader, than using digital AI tools. So potential trapped in a slow system is useless. Okay, so the fuel, the traditional fiction, and the engine, digital leadership. So possessing the four pillars is not enough. Digital leadership is an operating engine. The pillars are your fuel, but practical weekly execution is the engine that drives actual outcomes. All right. Something Mr. Peters also mentioned about practice. Okay, learning the fundamentals. Okay, you can have the pillars, which is the fuel, and every other thing, but you need weekly execution. He mentioned something about getting a product, need something, use the first speaker, Mr. Ilori, he mentioned about, giving it to 5 to 10 real users, let them test it, get their feedback, everything. Okay, so weekly execution. Work with these tools more. Execute tasks with them. The more you work with them, the more acquainted you get to them. The more acquainted you get with them, and the more used you are to them, the more you know how they think, the more you know how they respond. For example, me, the issue of ChatGPT giving wrong answers, I can't fall victim to it because I've used it a lot, and I'm not just someone who is using AI tool. I'm a digital leader. All right. I know the fundamentals. So if AI is giving me a wrong answer, I know it because I've used it over time. I've compared the responses across channels. So I know. All right. So weekly execution is the engine that actually drives outcomes. So what are the 4 moves that you can apply this week? The friction to flow cycle. All right. Number 1, remove friction. Lead by removing roadblocks, not adding control. Ask the team weekly, what is slowing you down? Fix that before adding new goals. All right. If you're a digital leader or an aspiring digital leader, have a meeting with your team, have a board meeting with your team, have a staff meeting. All right. Check out the processes, the daily tasks that your staffs do every single day. Find out, get feedbacks. What is slowing you down? What is this? How easy can we do this task? How faster can we do this task? Find out everything that is slowing down productivity and effectiveness, and then fix it. Fix it. That's one action step you should take right now. For individuals, find out, go through your schedule. Find out the tasks that you every day. Find out the iterative tasks. All right. One of the key functions of AI is to automate iterative tasks, tasks that are repeatable, that are repeated. All right. Rather than waste time on those kind of tasks, you can easily automate them. Which brings me to the second point: protect time. Protect 1 dedicated hour a week for innovation. Okay, so I'll talk on that. So AI, handles or automates iterative tasks. All right. So there's this thing called the 80-20 principle, the 80-20 rule. All right. So it's focusing on the 20% of tasks or 20% of things you need to do that actually move the 80% results that you get. Okay. So focus on the things that actually move the needle in your business, in your workplace, and then leave the other things that can be repeated, that can be automated, leave them to AI. So the second thing is protect time. Protect 1 dedicated hour a week for innovation. Innovation dies in fully booked calendars. Beautiful. One thing you need to learn about innovation is that innovation will come to you, or innovative ideas will come to you. Or let me put it this way: innovative ideas do not come to busy people. Yeah. Innovative ideas do not come to overly busy people. All right, I'm always busy. I don't have time. You need to have time to innovate because you need to have time to think. Innovation requires deep level thinking. All right, deep level thinking. If you don't think, you can't function as an innovator. All right. So to function well as a digital leader, you need to be an innovative digital leader. All right, which still boils down to solving real life problems. Okay. Then match the channel. Stop sending long emails to a generation that reads voice notes and bullet points. Communicate in the format they actually consume. Beautiful. All right. So stop sending long emails to a generation that reads voice notes and bullet points. Communicate in the format that they actually consume to get the attention of your clients, your peers, and everything. Communicate in the format that they consume. All right. Because that's where emotional intelligence comes in. It's in marketing. All right, knowing your audience, all right, learning the language and the communication style of your audience. Very, very important. Okay, it's not just about using the AI tool. If I use ChatGPT now to write a long email and send it to an audience that their attention span is just about 3 to 8 seconds. They just scan through and read through and just slide over. All right, you will not get their attention that way, and that's your business losing money. That's you leaving money on the table. All right, so match the channel. And the last one, the 48-hour experiment. I call it the 48-hour experiment. Adapt by treating every new tool as a 48-hour sprint. Try it, measure it, keep it, or drop it. Let me tell you the juice of this message. The juice is that in as much as the world is digital, you don't need to use all the digital tools. ChatGPT comes out, you are using ChatGPT, you are using Gemini, you are using Claude, you are using Kimi, you are using DeepSeek, you are using everything. No, something that is meant to improve your productivity is now killing your productivity. So this is where the 48-hour experiment comes in. When a tool comes out, for example, ChatGPT comes out, use it, try it, give it a 48-hour sprint. Meaning take 2 days, all right, try out to practice a lot of things with that tool. If it is something that you know that will be much benefit to you and will increase your productivity, keep it, measure it, keep it. If it will not, drop it. That's just it. Drop it. Drop it. You don't need to use all AI tools. You don't need to use all digital tools. It's not productive. It's not wisdom. All right. Resilience is about the speed of recovery. So growth mindset is a discipline. You treat every failure as data, not as verdicts. Mr. Peters also mentioned something about this. Okay. He said, do not let the feedback of people get to you. All right. So that is someone that has a growth mindset. You treat failure like this your design. I don't like this your work. Okay, yes, write it down. Then trace it back. What did you do that got you that result? Meaning you just learned failure is not failure until you give up. All right. So as long as that is just feedback, that is just responses from people, take it as data, work on it and improve. It's not a verdict. And resilience is not baseline toughness. It is the ability to keep showing up with the exact same standard immediately after a setback. For example, resilience. You do something today and they say it's not good. It's not just about coming back with something that is now even less than what you did before. Come back with the exact same standard. Excellent. I have a personal mantra. I have a personal value of excellence. I value excellence. There's nothing I do that is void of excellence. All right. So as you are making mistakes, because mistakes is part of success, failure is part of success, embrace it. Love failure. Yes, that's one. If I would love failure, love it, embrace it as data. It is only data. It doesn't rub anything. If someone says your work is not good, it doesn't change your face, it doesn't change your eye color. All right, so it doesn't really have any effect on you. Work on it and improve. All right, so collaboration multiplies, learning speed. So individual, you cannot learn every tool in isolation. Depth on one source beats noise from many. The absolute fastest way to master a new skill is to work next to someone who already possesses it. Beautiful. So one thing I'll just say about this is depth on one source beats noise from many. Like I said, if you're an expert in using ChatGPT, you can be better off than someone who is an average in using ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, Kimi, and all those things. Right? So leadership is defined by your influence, your service, and your willingness to embrace change. Okay, so the 24-hour mandate. Before tomorrow ends, one thing. Message someone on your team, on your network, and ask what is slowing them down. Then go fix it. Remember, leadership is responsibility and service by influence. All right. So that is digital leadership, not a title, it's actually an action. So the few keywords I will leave with every one of us is leadership, innovation, integrity, adaptability, and growth mindsets. These are more like my core values. You will be an exceptional digital leader. You must have the principles. You must have the ability to lead, innovate, have integrity, adapt, and have a permanent growth mindset. Thank you very, very much.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. This is amazing. I don't know. We just have a lot, as in all of our speakers are top notch. I mean, you guys are giving us you are giving us a very good vibes. We really appreciate your talk. Like, I mean, no, 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 no. This is interesting. The fact that he speaks calmly and he try as much as possible to reiterate his fact, like every single word, to make sure that we all get it very well. So I am not arguing, like I don't even have to doubt the fact that you are truly a teacher. You are a trainer, so it's obvious that that you train. So thank you so much for that inspiring presentation. Your session has shows that leadership can begin at any stage of our careers. Young professionals do not need to wait for senior title before demonstrating initiations. Sorry, accountability, credibility, and possible and a positive influence. You will also try to reiterate some of the parts of building credibility that was mentioned by the former speaker. That you build credibility alongside when you are working with your client. You reiterate more on digital leadership, and you also try to take us down through the memory lanes of how you started your career into digital leadership, and how you were able to finish 25 digital training while you try to follow your mentor path. So that is really an eye opening for all of us, right? So please kindly, as we are speaking, kindly submit your question in the chat box. So immediately I'm done speaking, you can just use the opportunity to ask Mr. David question. So thank you for your valuable contribution, Mr. David. The major thing, if you ask me, that I learned from this conversation, this training, is the fact that leadership begins with responsibility. Begins with the willingness to create value, right? It also mentioned, which I actually dropped in the chat box, that as you have an idea, you are thinking about an idea here, somebody else somewhere is also thinking about the same ideas. The difference between you and that person is execution. If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
execute before that person, you come to the market before the person, and people recognizes you and knows you before that person, and they think about the fact that you are the one that brought that ideas to life. So that thing he just mentioned, it actually heated me in some point, in some area, because sincerely I can 100% resonate with what he mentioned. I've had an idea for many years, even before I finished my university, doing my undergraduate. In fact, my ideas was not only ideas, I've given it a name, that, oh, this is this particular business, I like it, I want to do it, and I've given it a name during my undergraduate period, like since in my undergraduate. I nurtured that idea for many years, but I was not able to execute it. Fast forward to when I finished my school, I started working 3 years into my profession, into my professional career. I wanted to execute the business. And guess what? I wanted to register the business. Guess what? The name has been taken. One, that same name, that same name, they are doing the same, they have the same business plan as I am. So it's not enough, it's not only enough that they have taken my name. They are even doing the same business that I to do. Look at as far back as undergraduate, that was like 2015, 2014, for me to nurture that idea. And it is after 2020, 2021, 2020, no, 2023 that I wanted to execute that ideas. Many people have executed that idea, similar ideas. So it really resonates with me when you mentioned, you can see that I quickly went to the chat box to drop it so that I will not forget. Sincerely, if you have an idea, I will advise you to make sure that you execute that idea, even if it's just a baby step. Like he mentioned, I really love his presentation. I mean, it just they enter my bone, like the way he was saying it. Even if it is a baby step, do it, start it. Let it be that you start something instead of you just having a being the best idea or the best person in the room, or what how they used to call it. You have the best idea, but you have not executed any. When I attended this US consulate, the one we attended on Monday, our training with US consulate bring us together, brings businesses from different area of life together, right? And one lady came to tell us about her stories, and she was like, she had a story in secondary school. Imagine, as far back as secondary school, she had a business, rather a business idea as far back as secondary school. And she even mentioned that that business idea, it's only one person, one organization that is practicing it now. For you to know how unique
Wow.
that idea is. As far back as secondary school, we can see how God used to give people talents. So she said, but one of the major, she hit a roadmap when she took that idea to a mentor, and the mentor said that this idea is capital intensive. You are poor, your father, your parents does not have anything, and you have an idea of a rich people, you can't do it. And he threw that idea under the carpet, and that was it. Since that time, she has the fear, she has not come out of her shell to be able to execute the idea that she has and all of that. So that was a big challenges for her, and she was saying it. So the trainer was like, you should go and see a therapist, because if you have that kind of big idea, you even up to now you still remember that I have this idea, and you can see that no much people have not really gone into that idea. So it's something you can still pick up and do. So please, if we have any idea, irrespective of how small that idea, see, no idea is crazy. Oh. The idea you think you have now that you are thinking is crazy, in the next 1 minute you just see somebody executing it, and you'll be wondering that, really? So I'm not thinking weird. That means I know what I'm doing. That means the idea is valid. Just that I don't know how to go about it. I don't know how to start it. So please make sure that you are a digital leader. How do you be a digital leader? Make sure you follow all the steps that our distinguished speakers have mentioned earlier, right? So all of our presentation will be shared with you. Kindly follow us on all our social media. Follow the group. There is a group, WhatsApp group community that we have. We are going to share all the training material with you in the community. Follow us on all our social media as well. See, trust me, there are many more of this wonderful training that are going to be coming up. It could be one person training, it could be plate, because we are celebrating International Youth Day. That's why we are having 3 presenters. We can even have one presenters that are going to take much that we are going to take much of their time, and they will use that time to speak to us about so many things. So sincerely, I have learned a lot from this presentation. Can you use the chat box to drop any question that you have so that David can take your question? Please drop your question in the chat box. I'll be waiting for your question. Any question, please, for David? Any question? While we are waiting for your question, I would like to be rounding up this session. Distinguished speakers, guests, and participants, we have now come to the end of our International Youth Day 2026 program for Global Impact Technology Limited. Today has been a meaningful and highly informative experience. For me particularly, I can attest to that. Through our 3 sessions, we have explored how young people can use technology to create businesses, access global work opportunities, and provide responsible leadership in this digital age, right? From Mr. Olalekan Ilori presentation, which is on entrepreneurship through technology, we learned that innovation begins with identifying a genuine problem and developing a practical solution. So one thing that I'm going to mention about that is um minimum viable product, right? He said develop a minimum viable product that you can use to test the water. Then from Mr. Olaonipekun Owolabi's Peter session on freelancing and remote work opportunities, we learned that accessing global opportunity requires relevant skills, a credible portfolio. So if you don't have the portfolio, make sure that you try to build one, a professional communication, and also reliability and consistent delivery, and also building credibility over time. From Mr. David Onyegbule's presentation on digital leadership for young professionals, we learned that leadership is not restricted to title or position. It begins with initiative, it begins with responsibility, curiosity, ability to learn, continuous learning, and ability to create value. Although we come from different contexts, we share common aspiration. We all desire opportunities to grow. Yes, we all want to be successful. We want to contribute and build a better future for us and for other generations to come. So the knowledge shared today will only create impact when we put it into practice. Therefore, I encourage every participant to identify at least one action from today's program and begin to work on it, and begin working on it immediately, right? So small baby step, as David mentioned, and consistent actions can actually produce significant results for all of us. So on behalf of Global Impact Technology, I sincerely appreciate our distinguished speakers, Mr. Olalekan Ilori, Mr. David Onyegbule, and Mr. Peter Owolabi, for taking out of their busy schedule to attend this training. Thanks for accepting our invitation and generously sharing your wealth of knowledge, professionalism, your experience, your expertise in and practical guidance with us. You have contributed to this program valuably, impactfully, and immensely. We also appreciate every participant who have joined today, taking out of their time, their busy schedule to attend this training. Our sincere appreciation goes to the management of Global Impact Technology, the planning team, our volunteers, the technical teams, and also the and myself. I'm the moderator, and myself. Everyone who has contributed to the success of this organization. So please remain committed, connected to Global Impact Technology. Use the chat box, check our social media page, check our WhatsApp group, join, and we are going to share all our valuable resources with you. We have internship opportunities, we have scholarship opportunities, we have volunteers opportunities, we have mentorship opportunities. So anyone that you want to have with us, we are always available and ready to help, and also to collaborate with organizations to achieve the best. So I will leave you with the fact that in the chat box, we have not seen any questions so far. So that means that people do not have question to ask, right? So thank you very much once again for being here. See you in the community for sharing the registration. I mean, for sharing what's it called, the training material with you. At the same time, there's also certificates for this training. So we'd like us to all unmute, open our video so that we can take a good picture. And also, when you get to the chat box, we are going to put a name there. We are going to put a list there so that you can put in your name for your certificate. Thank you so much for attending this training. So please kindly open your video so that we can have a group video, a group picture. Please open your video for a group picture. Thank you, everybody. Open your video for a group picture. Okay. We are not seeing, okay, all right. So we have Davis Kwanfa, please open your video for a group picture. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for attending this training. So we are about to take the picture now. So still stay connected. You can also take from your end as well. So I'm taking the picture again. So everybody just smile a bit, I beg. Left mad. All right, thank you. Thank you so much for coming for attending this training. We really appreciate you. All right, so enjoy the rest of your day. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma.
You're welcome. Please join the community, please, so that you can have your certificate and also um you can
Thank
have the certificate.
you, Global
Thank
Impact
you.
Tech.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you for
everyone.
having us. Thank you.
You're
Thank you for
welcome.
having us.
Bye.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.